Hello, and welcome to the Great British Mickey Waffle for the 1st of June 2024. Our show was recorded on Monday 20th of May, and since that recording, the world has sadly lost the Disney legend Richard M Sherman. Richard Sherman passed away at the age of 95 on Saturday the 25th of May, and the outpouring of love for his talent and amazing musicianship has been overwhelming. We thought that there was no better tribute to the brilliance of his 65-year career with his brother Robert than to keep our June Imaginearing focus section about them. And not only that, we've decided to leave it as a standalone segment. The rest of our 5th birthday discussions will be available later this month. But until then, remember, there's a great big beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of every day. Our show for the 1st of June 2024. We are firmly into the summer here in the UK, which means it only rains for about 20 hours a day. And we are all thinking about our very next dose of Disney sunshine, whether that be very soon or in a few months' time. The June show is always a special one here at the Great British Mickey Waffle. It's our anniversary show. And this year we are celebrating creating Disney content together for 5 years. We have some interesting conversations coming up, reflecting on some of those moments, but also thinking about what the future holds. Welcome to the show.
Now my wheels in motion and my windows open with the wind blowing in my hair. I'm driving down the highway, gonna do this my way. I can feel it in the air. Here I
go. Hey, look at those shiny new graphics and music. What a great birthday present from Ben to everyone. Thank you, Ben. Got a new look for 5th year. How exciting is that? 5 years. Who would believe from those first crackly Zoom calls that would transpire into 5 years of monthly shows, live YouTube content every week, and a huge growing community of friends and collaborators. The team here have remained pretty stable over that time, although we still miss Sammy and Lloyd's lovely regional accents. But we are super happy to have Robin and Simon as part of our family. Yeah. So today, for the first time in a while, we do have a full house joining the chat. So let's say hello to everyone around our virtual birthday party table. John, I'm coming to you first.
Oh, thanks.
Are you okay?
I'm good. Do you know something? I think we mentioned it last month about how, I always start with the weather, and I'm not going to start with the weather. I'm going to start with the fact.
I totally do.
Yeah, but I think as well. I think going back, it was our first birthday. I think we even had birthday hats and all that. We're kind of missing out on the birthday theming, aren't we? And kind of a few party poppers and streamers and things like that. Yeah. So if you listen to the podcast,
I don't know whether is it birthday or is it anniversary.
Oh, there you go. Oh. Yeah. Oh, we might have to dress up again if it was anniversary, mightn't it?
Speak for yourself. I'm not getting into that. What's the 5th anniversary?
You got into trouble the last time you mentioned that.
What's the 5th anniversary gift? I can't remember what it is because first is paper. I don't know.
Tin, I think.
No. Tin is 10.
Who gets a tin of baked beans?
It's in 10.
Tin is 10. Yes.
It could be something like pottery, maybe. I can't quite remember. I know I looked it up when it was Alfred's wedding.
Oh well.
Right.
Ben and Becca, how are you both today?
Good.
Really good. And I've just looked it up. 5th wedding anniversary gift is actually wood.
Who's giving you wood? Excellent. Oh no, this is how it's going to go today.
It's 5 years. It would be used.
It's so cheap, isn't it? It's so cheap.
I know.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
Well,
and the present.
A stay at Wilderness Lodge. That's not cheap.
No.
No, it is not. Are you okay, Becca? We didn't hear you. Are you coughing still?
Sometimes. Oh. So I will try my best not to cough tonight to make the editing.
Right. Peter and Jill, how are you?
Yeah.
Hello. Will there be cake as it's our birthday?
Did you make any? You're the chef.
No.
No.
In that case, the answer is
cake.
no.
Ah, no.
That's disappointing.
Cake's,
Drax would be disappointed.
cake's cancelled.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, we need some cake toast.
Big
there's
t-
no-
yes.
It's over either.
And over in the other corner, we have Robin and Simon. How are you both?
Hello.
Hey, good.
All good.
Yeah, happy to be here. Although we weren't here at the beginning, it feels like we're part of the team now, part of the
It's
furniture.
part of the family.
So,
family.
Like Claire said,
Good.
it's part of the
Family.
That's exactly it.
What's that song from Oliver? Consider yourself at
Consider yourself part of the
Yeah,
furniture.
well,
home. Oh, are we going for a sing song? This is the
This
musical
is
episode. Okay.
exactly it.
yeah.
I think we need a bit of
This
warning.
might not be a good thing.
A bit of bonus warning, maybe.
Look, who knows what's going to happen later?
All I know is there's definitely some acting skills in some of these clips that we've got coming up later. So,
I have really bad acting skills, and I apologise
dear.
in advance.
and some of it I can't believe has happened in the past 5 years. Some things I thought I'd erased from my memory, but that we're going to
good reason.
refresh. Yeah, we're going to refresh
Oh,
people's memories
dear.
of those tonight.
Oh, that sounds ominous.
So before we crack on with the meaty content of our discussion, we are going to hear about a pair of Imagineers that really need no introduction. And if they had one, it would be a catchy earworm that sticks in your head for days and days and days. Legends as Imagineers and also musicians, the Sherman Brothers are our focus for this month. Take it away, boys.
The names of Richard and Robert Sherman might not be easily recognisable to those outside Disney fandom, but it's a safe bet that pretty much everyone knows at least a few of their songs. Robert was born in 1925 and Richard in 1928 in Manhattan. Their father was a songwriter, and the brothers soon began to follow in his footsteps. The family moved to California while the boys were still at school, and their association with Disney began in 1958 when they wrote several top 10 hits for the famous Mouseketeer, Annette Funicello. Walt soon hired them as staff composers, and in the early 60s they contributed songs to films like The Parent Trap, Summer Magic and The Sword in the Stone. But it was their songs for 1964's Mary Poppins that really put them in the public eye. Everyone loved the catchy tunes with their intricate lyrics, often using long and nonsensical words such as chim chim cheree and of course supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. But the gentle and simple melody and words of Feed the Birds, Walt's favourite of their songs, also have power to stir the heart even today. They went on to write songs for many of Disney's classic films, but also made a huge contribution to the music used in the Disney parks. The Carousel of Progress song, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, and its temporary replacement, The Best Time of Your Life, are both Sherman classics. There's also the Tiki 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 Room, or One Little Spark, along with perhaps the greatest earworm of all time, It's a Small World. During their 13 years at Disney, they wrote more than 200 songs. They won 2 Oscars for their work on Mary Poppins and were nominated for several others over the years. In 1990, they were inducted as Disney Legends, and in 2010 they were given a window on Main Street USA in Disneyland. Their work outside of Disney includes The Slipper and the Rose and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, but it's within the Disney parks that their influence can be felt most. Walking down Main Street USA, you can hear Fortuosity from The Happiest Millionaire, which starred Tommy Steele. And they even wrote a song for Tokyo Disneyland called Meet the World. So today, whether you want to go bobbing along in the beautiful briny, dodge some heffalumps and woozles, or go fly a kite, take a moment to appreciate the legacy of the Sherman Brothers.
I have been looking forward to talking about the Sherman Brothers
Absolutely.
for the last.
Yeah. Yeah.
My goodness, where do you start? I mean, Jill's given us a very brief summary about,
Yeah.
who they are, what they did, but wow, what I just can't even put my finger on my favourite Sherman Brothers song. There's so many, and they're so influential. What about you, Robin?
Well,
Did you-
I feel like I learned something. Jill, thank you. I didn't know they did the Tiki Room song.
Yes.
Yep.
Amazing. I feel
That's
very
one of your
excited.
favourites.
It's one of my
Yeah.
favourites. So yeah, I'm very excited. I didn't know that.
I have a niche favourite.
What's your favourite?
So, has anybody Beverly Hills Cop 3 with Eddie Murphy, right? The little known bit is that Wonderworld in Beverly Hills Cop 3 is like a pseudo Disneyland. The Sherman Brothers wrote the Wonderworld theme tune in that movie.
That's actually the most epic.
Oh,
wow.
thing
It's
we're
so
gonna hear
random
today.
Disney-esque.
That
You can
is-
tell it's supposed to be like a Disneyland song.
That's
But
amazing.
yeah, Wonderworld is
Wow.
Wonderworld. It's
Amazing.
supposed to be semi-hideous but an earworm track. But yeah,
Fantastic.
I mean, there's loads of others, but it's always
You
that
did it
one that I
justice
think of.
then.
That is superb.
I knew exactly what the one you meant as soon as you sung
Yeah.
it. If there's ever a reason to go back and watch Beverly Hills Cop 3, it's that.
Oh, I'll take your word for
Yeah,
it.
I might give it a
That
miss.
was a great film. What about you, Peter? What's your favourite?
It's a tricky
Sherman
one
Brothers
to
song?
pick. It's a tricky one to pick. I'm gonna go with "It's a Small World" because when Walt was first doing the ride, what he wanted was all the dolls singing the national anthem of the country as you went through, and the Sherman Brothers thought this would be a bit of a cacophony, so they saved the day by writing "It's a Small World."
I quite like the version in Paris where they're singing in all their different
Yeah.
language.
Yeah,
I
I do
do
too.
like
Yeah.
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 I mean, I love the one in Walt Disney World where the can dancers go, ooh la la. I like that bit. But I do quite like the Paris version where you get all the different languages.
I've never heard that one all the way through though.
There's a
you
reason
not?
for that.
No, because we
Disney.
stuck on it.
Get back on it.
That's a reason to go back.
Yeah.
If ever there was.
I mean,
It
to
is.
me, It's a Small World sounds like a cacophony of noise anyway. It doesn't matter whether they're
Because
singing
it
national
reverberates
anthems or
around
not.
your brain for the 3
Yeah.
years after you've been on the ride.
Well, don't forget also at Paris you get the Christmas overlay
Yes, which is
of-
great.
of the song as well as the ride. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that about the song. I
Yeah.
feel like I need to pay more attention in the future.
What about you, Jill? You must have a favourite.
Oh, I have a thing about long words, and the Sherman Brothers love these long words, either words that aren't real, like protocologically correct,
Yes.
or chim chim cheree, or all these different words that they made up, or words like substitutionary locomotion,
I love
bed knobs and broomsticks.
like the whole Bed Knobs and Broomstick soundtrack is just
It is
incredible.
yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
You know, Beautiful Briny. You have to sing along. It's just
Yeah.
the
Yes.
best.
The rules.
Best.
Yeah.
Although I
You've
don't
never
know
seen it.
any,
I've not seen it in a very long time, if I've ever seen it at all.
I don't know any
know.
Brit who actually says bumbershoot.
But
I think you should.
yes, old bamboo.
The old
The
bamboo.
old bamboo.
Old
Yes.
And what about you, Ben? Have you got a favourite?
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be classic. It's gonna be Feed the Birds.
Oh,
Yeah.
You see, I'm a bit controversial. I know that.
I know it'll be Walt's
it-
favourite, and it was one of those ones that but just it's all depends on the arrangement as well.
doesn't do
Yeah.
it for me.
And I think that it just when I'm in Magic Kingdom, listening to it on sort of Casey's Corner, I just think it's just lovely.
Yeah, I think if Grayson's playing it up on Casey's Corner, then that would be
Yeah.
that would be a reason to love it.
The version from the stage show's really good.
yeah,
If you get to see the stage show, the version of the stage show is excellent.
yeah.
What about you, Becca?
Let's Go Fly a Kite is probably my favourite.
Okay.
Oh.
And just for completeness, John, have you got a favourite Sherman Brothers song?
I'd probably go for a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, shining at the end of every day. just
What a great philosophy for life.
yeah, and it's just it's that whole thing of how big a genius the two of them were in actually putting songs together that instantly become earworm, but also they provided that soundtrack for what Walt was actually trying to achieve, not just from a film perspective, but also from the theme park perspective. And that's a very clever way of working, and I think that for me is something that you only get an idea of once you can dig a little bit deeper. Just while we're on the subject, it's worth digging out. It's still on Disney Plus, and it's the Sherman Brothers story, which is called The Boys.
Yes.
And it is absolutely unmissable viewing.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Just shows you just how their relationship with Walt was just so entwined with what they were all trying to achieve. That, along with, if you see the Shermans depicted in, was it Saving Mr. Banks?
Yes.
Again, you begin to see how in Saving Mr. Banks, you think, oh, this is all kind of set up and everything. But actually, when you watch the actual proper footage in The Boys, you actually see it's actually quite true to life as to how they actually their songwriting and their actual the deadlines that they were given, and how they at times had an unenviable task of actually trying to come out with a song in probably a matter of hours, because that was the expectation from the producers of a film, or the company needed the song to be live and to be with them, and they did it every time. They came up with something absolutely incredible, and I think that's the bit that sticks for me. What's your favourite, Claire? Go on.
I've got so many, and actually, Jill mentioned in the VT the Slipper and the Rose, which is in my top 5 films that I love of all time. And I have lost count of how many times I've watched it. I had the video as a teenage, a girl, and then I had the DVD. If you've never watched it, it's a version of a Cinderella story, but it's got amazing Sherman Brothers music all the way through it. Gemma Craven and Richard Chamberlain as the prince, he was about 55 when he recorded it, and he was meant to be about 25. It's hysterical. But Gemma Craven is outstanding as Cinderella. She's just the most incredible actress and singer. But of the Disney catalogue, I would probably say that Magic Journeys is one of my favourites. And the reason I like it so much is that the thing that blows my mind about the Sherman Brothers is their ability to write melodies, but also write incredible lyrics. And that's what everyone's touched on, actually, is, Jill, you're talking about the lyrics, they're talking about the clever wordplay. And then other people have talked about the melody, and the fact that they make those together and they're intertwined. You can't separate them. Sometimes you can take a piece of music and play it without the lyrics, and it sounds just as good. The Sherman Brothers back catalogue is just so cleverly created to be able to represent whatever it was that they were trying to support, so the music never overtakes the story, but it's there as an absolutely integral part, and it's the melody and the lyrics together that are the perfect pairing. And I think that was the genius of them. And when you watch that program, The Boys, their own relationship was tumultuous at times.
Oh, wasn't it, Joe?
It was quite rocky.
I was trying to be polite. They weren't always the best of friends. Just to that's what friends are for. But I think that the fact that they could somehow just always pull it out of the bag. And when you look at the list of songs that they wrote, it just blows your mind. Because if you were to think about yourself in a Disney park, you can guarantee that you'll have heard at least 5 Sherman Brothers songs by the time you've walked from one end of the park to the other. Does anyone have any other favourites or thoughts about them?
I have to agree with you, Jim, about Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. There's just something about it, that the attraction, the song, it's just... I had never went on Carousel of Progress until after the pandemic. So until we went back. So it's like hearing that song quite frequently during 2020. It was just sort of that sort of thought of hope of like things were going to happen afterwards. And it was just, and understanding the attraction. And I think everyone has a little snooze on that attraction and wakes up to that song as you go between scenes.
I think it was a throwaway line. I really do think it's such a great philosophy for life. It doesn't matter what happens today. Tomorrow is a fresh day, and it makes me think of that Anna Green Gables quote. Tomorrow is a new day with no mistakes in it, and it is very much like that. That philosophy for tomorrow will be fresh and exciting. So.
And I love the different arrangements of it as you go through the years.
Yeah.
I
did.
It's interesting. They play it in Disneyland Paris on the entrance loop as you go to the entrance, and so my mind always sort of has kind of two parts going on in its head, in my head at the same time.
Has anyone ever heard Pineapple Princess? Which is so if you are downstairs in the Polynesian hotel in Walt Disney World, and you know that walk through from the boutique down towards Captain Cook's, as if you were to find yourself waiting for your call back to go to Trader Sam's, for example, and you were trying to kill some time in the lobby, there is a glass fronted case which it's got a small Hawaiian mini door. But it's also got a whole load of record sleeves, and a lot of them, they're all actually Pineapple Princess. It's a pop song that they wrote for Annette Funicello. And there's a whole load of them. There's an album called Hawaiianette, which is one of her albums. And there's about probably 20 different record sleeves and stuff and pictures. And when I was there recently, I was looking at it all thinking, I did not know that the Sherman Brothers wrote these songs. So yeah. There you are. If you've not listened to Pineapple Princess, it's quite unique, but it's one of their earlier tracks.
Can I bring forward, or rather back to Me Old Bamboo? It's a very good song. It's very wordy like they are. And doing it to a dance routine at the same time, you must just collapse at the end.
Yeah. Could you show us the dance routine?
Leave it to Dick Van Dyke.
The camera's too small.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We saw it 2 days ago. We were front row centre for Adam Garcia doing it in.
Okay. Oh wow!
It must have been quite the view.
Which was the best view. Poor Simon. He's very, very, very.
I'm appreciative. I'm understanding of Robin's Adam Garcia fangirling.
I like that you didn't call it obsession.
Yeah.
Appreciation.
I said, oh, Chitty's on at Woking. Do you want to go and see it? Adam Garcia's in it. Oh, okay.
I've already booked it.
I bet he was really good, actually. Yeah.
And it was wonderful watching Adam sing and dance to that. It was very fun.
But the dance bit, that's why I like Step in Time. I think that is the pace of that with the dance as well. It's kind of, I think they're just nice numbers to watch as well.
It's really clever, isn't it? The pace, the rhythmic intention of it. And I'm going to get all muso about it, so I'm going to stop talking.
I think we could have done a whole show about Sherman Brothers. I remember when we did the original plan, it was like we could easily do a whole show.
Yeah. One thing that doing all the research for this has done is that it's encouraged me to give myself a target for when we go to Disneyland, that I must see the window. Whatever else we do, I must see their window.
I'm with you there, Jill. And I think we're finding this each month that we're coming up and we're discussing different Imagineers as well. I think it's absolutely vital that, anyone listening, I think we as a group will do this a little bit more. Instead of walking past the windows, actually just go and seek out the windows of Main Street. There's enough for free on, if you Google it, to give yourself your own guided tour in each park. You don't need to go and buy the books. You don't need to go and purchase anything, but just allow yourself to just go and see just how they've been honoured in such a beautiful way in different parks as well. And I think that certainly, I think moving forward with this is something that I think everybody, who's listening, when you go to a Disney park again, you'll have a list and you'll be sort of, the family will be racing down towards the castle in the park, and you'll be like, wait, hang on, I'm trying to find it.
There's a window somewhere I'm looking
it's
for.
on this side here. Keep your eyes look. But you've got to do it, and actually, I actually think that really is one of the best things to do, and even from that entry into Walt Disney World with the window above the station, which says "Keeping Dreams on Track." That to me, before you've even entered the park, is just one of the great statements of all time. And I just love it. It's just we'll come to it later in the show, but already I get something in my head that is just like, oh my word! When I see that again, how's that going to feel? And the windows on Main Street are going to be the same thing for each of these Imagineers and amazing musicians that we've explored through this series throughout the whole of this year.
Brilliant. So, thank you. You know what, Sherman Brothers are just epic legends in my mind.
Yeah.
The world would be a much lesser place had they not written all those amazing songs.
Like a hit factory. They were like the Stock Aitken and Waterman of that day.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. That's such a great analogy.
And the musicals we love would not be the same, would they?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
The difference between Stock Aitken and Waterman, the Sherman Brothers, is the Sherman Brothers can write songs.
Oh,
controversial.
I'm with you there, Peter.
They would take umbrance to that because they always
talented
said
fellas.
that they wrote tracks for exactly what the market wanted.
Yeah.
And they adjusted and
Absolutely.
understood the market to be able to make music quickly that they knew would. And I think it's the same for the Sherman Brothers, right? It's that same essence of they understood what Disney needed, what the films needed, what the parks needed. And I think they understood that vision enough to turn that into a musical backing that underpinned everything that was done, to the point that if you wouldn't necessarily always think about it unless you were a real Disney kind of obsessive about it, but it's there in the background and you could easily ignore it. But you can hear the consistency that underpins all of Disney. And I think that's a lot to be said for that kind of ability to do that.
Thank you for your segment on the Sherman Brothers. Let's all go and sing. It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. We look forward to catching up with you in the near future. And there is only one thing left to say. See you real soon.
Now my wheels in motion and my wheels